get another color or whatever. Sometimes.
I don't know.
And the next picture, please. Yeah, then you can see we have many nice coasts. And Croatia has about 2,000 islands. So some small, some bigger, some. Many of them are not inhabited because we have too many. If you live on a small island, I don't know, there's not many possibilities you can do. Next one. So no pictures, okay, sorry. And then, again, and we are happy in Croatia because the Adriatic Sea is between Italy and Croatia, but the streaming are so that polluted stuff going to Italy. That's good for Croatia and bad for Italy. Last slide. Nice. And then that's one, you can see them from the medieval age. Was with nice walls and whatever. History is very important in Croatia and Balkan and so on. And then some stuff was damaged in the war. The Balkan War from 1991 to 1995. But okay, the stuff is not okay. And then that's a very funny story that's in Bosnia. And that's near to Sarajevo. And there is one guy, he's I forgot his full name. He's living in USA, whatever, and he's believing there are some kinds of pyramids. And then talking they are 12,000 years old or 20,000 years old. Every time it's a different story. And then he's talking. If you go inside, then you can find some tunnels. And you can live very healthy there, whatever. And so there are some streams and. So special lights, and then as normal geologists and every other scientist just laughing about this. But many people from Europe and from USA, so young people going there and working there for free. Okay, if the people like it, I don't know, they are happy. And this guy is just getting a lot of money with this, because if you see this from another perspective, another side, then you see this is not pyramid, it's just because it just happened, sometimes the soil is going down, whatever, and then these sides look a little bit like a pyramid.
Are you talking about the scenery of Croatia? Are you talking about the scenery of Croatia?
Croatia, yeah, but this is in Bosnia now. This is in
Adriatic Sea.
Yeah, and then, well, just so funny story, as I saw this and I remember, okay, perhaps I can talk about this, so a little bit funny stuff. Next one. And this now, again, pure water, nice, and then, next one. And that's now in my area. I'm from Bosnia, can you imagine? And it's between Bosnia and Croatia on the border. And my nationality is Croatian nationality. It's very difficult, because I married in Korea, and it was very difficult, because the Koreans don't understand. How can I be from Bosnia, but my nationality is from Croatia? I have a Croatian passport. It was really difficult. And then getting, because of marriage for the church, I getting stuff from Bosnia, and then they stopped. It was too difficult. And then, next one. Yeah, that was first communion. Many kids, and they're always dressed like, like they're going to a wedding or whatever. And it's in this church I was baptized. My father, my grandfather, grandmother, we are all related to this church. It's now about 200 years old. Yeah. And as you can see, that the girls are okay. The picture is not so the best, but okay, the girls are really like a little little women, so really nice. Okay. And the boys, same style, and you get a candle, and then you get some diploma. It's good. And they are Franciscana. So Franciscana are very strong in Bosnia, because we was under Turkey, Osmanian Empire, and then they get a special. They just could provide the Catholic believings and so on, and only there's a special agreement between Istanbul and Kosovo. Okay, next one. And that's now in Plitvice. Plitvice is about 2 hours or whatever from Zagreb, and it's really national park, and the water is really clear. I don't know, 6-7 meters you can just see inside. You can see all fishes, whatever, no problem. And many Koreans are there already. Koreans, and in Croatia too, in Zagreb, we in Zozo, in Vienna, in Austria. But Pilsen is really nice, and it's really special park. And if somebody knows Winnetou, was a movie, Winnetou in the 60s, so from Germany, they made this one scene in Pilsen. It's really great. I was there with my wife and 2 daughters last summer again, my 3rd time or 4th time, whatever. And it's really nice. It's really funny, always meeting some Koreans. That's again, it's really beautiful. It's really unbelievable, yeah. And this was in the winter. Normally there's not so many snow there, but if it's snowing and freezing, then it's really beautiful too. I didn't see like in winter. I always see in summer or whatever, but it's really it's not bad picture. Okay. Yeah. And then now to the text. Yeah. South Korea and former Yugoslavia. And I want to compare so just a little bit because, and I'm talking more about ex-Yugoslavia because you guys all know much about Korea. Yeah, and the next one. Difficult history during the 20th century because the First World War 1914 to 1918 was many ex-Yugoslavia, whatever, was always involved. Because actually every war in Europe we always involved because we are really the center of Europe. And then, yeah, always problems. And then from the Second World War 1941 to 1945 was really bad too in ex-Yugoslavia because attack was on Belgrade in this 1941, but Germany just rolled in 12 days then just conquered ex-Yugoslavia. And then, okay, you know, Korea was most difficult from 1910 to 1945, Japanese occupation and so on, and was bad, very bad. And Korea War from, okay, 1950 to 1953. And we have another wars too. A Balkan Wars was from 1912 and 1913. And then after this was First World War, so really many wars. And then from 1991 to 2001 was starting war 3 or 5 days in Slovenia, then starting in Croatia 1991, then 1992 starting in Bosnia, and finished in Croatia and Bosnia 1995. And was Dayton Agreement and stuff like this. But Milosevic was on the power, and then get problems of Kosovo and so on, and NATO attacked then finally Belgrade and so, and then 2001 just stopped all these wars. Yeah, it was. And then I compare a little bit because dictatorships. Tito was very famous from. Yeah, he was ruling ex-Yugoslavia for many years. Died 1980, and yeah, he was the most powerful politician in ex-Yugoslavia in the 20th century. Yeah, for Communist Party and whatever. And then, yeah, as I talked, this Balkan Wars 1992. Okay, took part in Slovenia, but in Bosnia was really bad. And we know about Srebrenica. Serbia, they killed just in one day about 7,000 people. They just decided, they say, okay, women and girls, they can go, and children, but every male that they found from 12 or 13 years to 80 years, they killed them all. And then Ratko Mladic was the general from Serbian side. And then he's now in Den Haag and whatever. But Milosevic was really powerful from Serbian. Yeah, he was actually not nationalist, but in the communist system he couldn't come really high, and then starting with this nationalist stuff and so on. But for Croatia was Franjo Tuđman very important. He was the president from Croatia until 1999, and then from 1992 getting yeah, most powerful man in Croatia, and then for 7 years he was a big father from everything in Croatia. And Alija Izetbegović was powerful in Bosnia. And funny, his son is powerful in Bosnia too. But yeah. Oh, I forgot one E here. Okay, Izetbegovic. Yeah, oh, okay. And then, if you compare, then we have hard times in South Korea after Korea War. You know, until Roh Tae-wood getting presidency, or with Kim Jong-sang, and then whatever, and then getting there was very hard times. And I was proud because of South Korea getting a really good president, Moon Jae-in. We can use him in Bosnia too, so it would be good. Yeah, it's very good. And then, yeah, next one. Yeah, and then a little bit about Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's small country, and then this is the son from Alija Izetbegovic, Bakir Izetbegovic. Dragan Čović is from Croatian side, and Milorad Dodik is from the Serbian Republic, so small part. Because Bosnia is so divided, we have a federation between Muslims, Bosnian and Croats, and one side is then from Serbian Republic. It's really difficult to explain this on English because we have a Serbia Republic, and then we have a Republic Serbia in Bosnia. I don't know, it's really sounding very similar. I tried one to explain one Korean in Medjugorje, and then okay, I quit it because it's the same actually. You can say so. And then Federation of Muslims and Croats, Bosnian and Croats, with 10 cantons. Also we have 10 like in the Swiss, but we are not so rich like the Swiss. Yeah. And capital is Sarajevo, and we can see Bosnia just small, 26,000 a little bit more square kilometers, and just 91 person per square kilometer, and so on. But 40% Bosniaks in the federation, 22.4% Croats, and we have some Serbs there and others. And then I'm coming from Posavina canton, where I'm from, and we have just less than 50,000 inhabitants. But now not so more, because many people are moving to Germany, Austria, Italy, and so on. Okay, I'm only one in Korea now, I guess. And then here, my canton is just Orašje, Odžak, Domalja, so municipalities, small towns, just 30,000, 20,000, 30,000, really small, or even less. But we are mostly Croats there, so 77%, and then some Bosniaks. Actually, mostly are the Muslims, also from Islam. And then, yeah, okay. And Republika Srpska, this is where Milorad Dodik is boss there. Capital is Banja Luka. And they have just about 1,200,000. If you compare Seoul with all satellites, whatever, is so big as ex-Yugoslavia, I don't know, 23 million or whatever. It's really, yeah. But for Europe, is this normal? We have many small countries in Europe. And then, yep. Yeah, and then, of course, the Republika Srpska, mostly of them are Serbians, 82%, a little bit more. Yep. And then characteristics of former Yugoslavia. So we had many nationalities, different religions, situated between Orient and Occident. That was some of problems, many problems of them, because mostly Croatian people like we are Catholics, Roman Catholics, and Serbs are Orthodox. And then from other, we have done many from Islam, and so there were many influence because of Turkey Empire or Ottoman Empire, and then Hungary was very powerful always, and in Croatia and Slovenia, they were always situated more to Germany and Austria, and Serbia and so on more to Turkey and so on, and very good relationships to Russia. And Bosnia was a little bit between as well. Everybody is pulling. And then difficult economical and political situation, because if you can imagine, it's a small country and so many different cantons and federation, and it's really difficult. We have so many ministers and political, really catastrophe. A lot of people living in other European countries, as I said, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, but some even in Australia. USSR, Russia, Chile, and so on. And yeah, geographical is really middle of Europe. And the Adriatic is a beautiful sea. We saw some picture. And we have very good food. Water is very good, good air quality. And the people are very open and very hospitable. Because when we are talking, we are like Italians. We are talking with hands, with just more open. And it's not so crowded like Korea. Very good tourist destination. Always good for a trip or journey, especially Croatia and Bosnia and Herzegovina. But Serbia is nice too. So it's really good area. Open, emotional, loud. If you like to love and have a lot of parties, eating too much meat, also pork, beef, chicken, fish, lamb, and whatever. And for meat from hunt or whatever is good. And we have those special sausages. It's I don't know, 1 kilogram, 20 euro, whatever. That's really difficult to make. It's really delicious. And we have a lot of brandies. There's one good store in Zagreb, from Croatia, and they are selling 80 different brandies. Some from Podo, some from Meshir or Plum, and so on. And really, our brandies are mostly about 40%. They are really strong. If you drink too much in summer, it's really strong stuff. And people like to drink beer a lot, wine too, because Croatia has good grapes. It's really good, and olive oil and whatever. And tobacco, many people. Yeah, normally men are smoking. I don't know why, but it's normal. And education system also is different. Like in Korea, we going 8 years in school, all children together. That's a good idea, I think. And after 8 years, then some kind of like business school, you can learn for auto mechanics or whatever, or just college, and then university. And normal state schools, also private schools and universities are not so many. Even some there are there, and they are from churches or Islamic communities or whatever. And generally a good education system for engineers or lawyers or medicine is really good too, doctors. And then, because I have many friends, they are Germans too, and they're always saying engineering from Ex-Yugoslavia or from Serbia, wherever, they are always good. High level, similar like in Russia, whatever. In former Yugoslavia, the unemployment rate of young people is very high. I don't know, 40% or really high. High living costs, low wages and pensions. If you buy some stuff, it's almost so expensive like in Germany, but you don't get so much money. And corruption and nepotism are really strong. Because, I don't know, it's normal, one man is politician, then his son is in the same party and gets some job, very good job, and his wife and brother, and all together that working to, I don't know, even if they are good or not, nobody is caring, just giving them job. And 80% or more people, but we are living in our own homes, it's normally, so we have houses or own apartments. And tourism and agriculture are the most important parts of the economy. Yeah, because of Adriatic Sea and so on in Croatia, and so Bosnia just has 20 kilometers from Adriatic Sea. It's not much, but okay. But the agriculture is really important. And then what's different as former Yugoslavia, a strong role of religion, nationality and ethnic background. It's really important if you are Catholic or Orthodox or Islam or Muslim, and then and divided more through these wars from 1991 to 2001. And long tradition of immigration, because in the Osmanian Empire and before and whatever, always going to another countries and moving, and it's normally. Tradition and collectivism are important, but strong preferences to individuality and more open to new ideas than Koreans. We are very curious. I don't know what was in Bosnia. Some Chinese doctor came doing this, looking in the eye and know what illness you have, or I don't know. And then everybody from Bosnia going there, so want to see new stuff. And then even nobody knows it's really doctor or not, no idea, but okay. And then and thinking Korean traditions are very important, and group thinking is very strong in Korea, because if somebody Harabuji has this car and this color, then all the other people have the same color, I don't know, or same model. It's really strong in Korea. Or other brothers too, and so on. That's really strong. My feelings and so. And Korea is not so showing openly emotions like. Okay, more than Chinese people, yeah. But we in Europe, we are just more. We are more open. Religions are not so a big influence like in Ex-Yugoslavia. I like this in Korea because it's normally, I know many people, because my wife is Korean, and she has relatives, one is Buddhist, another one is Protestant, and third one is atheist, and fifth one is whatever. It's no problem, but I think in ex-Yugoslavia it's really problem. How can you marry one, he's from your religion, whatever. Perhaps in Korea, how can you marry him, he's no doctor, or but religion is not so important, and I like this idea, it's really good. But okay, the history is very difficult because we have many wars between Protestant, Catholics, and so on. And that's the reason why it was really difficult. Okay? And same, okay, good food, hospitality to foreigners. Also, people always curious, always want to help. Koreans too, if I have some, really good. And humor is very important. Also we have many comedy shows and comics too and whatever, but we have a little bit harder humor. I don't know, it's not so like Koreans. These Koreans comedy shows sometimes, why is this funny? I don't know. But okay, and then hard-working people is normally too, because just in Bosnia, because of agriculture, you have some cows or land, and you're working from morning to, I don't know, late in the evening. It's normal. But we like books. So my sister and all friends are still reading very much. Okay, younger generation now computer whatever. And music and art are very popular too. And many musicians, and we like movies and whatever. Good? Done? Okay, I was faster than I thought. Yeah, then if you have questions and yeah.
Okay, we'll take questions.
If you have any questions, just write down on paper and our volunteer will collect them, then we'll answer them individually.
My question is simple. I will speak to you. I come from Croatia.
Yeah, I'm.
I know that 2 areas between Bosnia and Bosnia and Herzegovina were combined with one country. It was called Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Yeah, still.
Now they are divided two parts.
No, the name is still Bosnia and Herzegovina. Herzegovina is in the south of Bosnia. If you can imagine, can you show this first picture from GIC talk? Was some map. At the beginning it was with Ex-Yugoslavia or whatever.
Yes, combined and 2 areas called one country, Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Yes, the official name here is Bosnia, and Herzegovina is this part, where Međugorje and so on is in Herzegovina.
One country.
Yeah. Still Bosnia and Herzegovina, and this is the other part, Bosnia, and this is Herzegovina. But we have the problem now. We have these 10 cantons, and then this is Croatia together with Bosnian or Muslim people. And Serbs, they have so many parts here because of the last war. And then Serbs had about 49% from all area, and Croatia and Bosnia or Muslim people, they have 51%.
They are independent from Federation of Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
By that Tito.
Yeah, but Tito was everything together. Tito was alive. Tito dies 1990. But this war they started in 1980. Tito died 1980, and war started in 1991. Because Slovenia went out and Croatia went out, and then.
The other question is, you know, the new country, Kosovo, maybe your country and the Kosovo are very close.
Kosovo is in Serbia, so about
Yeah,
the
area is
small one.
very smaller. Maybe
Yeah.
South France, the territory area is similar. South, South,
Yeah. About 2 million people.
yeah. I have a special relationship with Kosovo. So I want to go together, but I cannot go there because the area is very dangerous. Is it true?
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
cannot go freely to Kosovo.
Yeah.
There are no obstacles to go there.
For Koreans,
Kosovo.
who?
I don't know, everybody. I want to go there, but it's very dangerous area, so I cannot go there. So we can go there freely without any kinds of very difficult situation.
Because there are many from whatever, and NATO and soldiers there too.
Very dangerous now.
Yeah. But if you like danger, I'm not going there too.
Okay, we have another question. The question is, how come Yugoslavia became one country? Because it doesn't seem to be very homogeneous.
During Tito time or when?
Yeah, that's my question actually.
Good. Most of Yugoslavia was the Serbians, and then before Yugoslavia we had some kingdoms. Was a king from Belgrade, whatever, and then we have put the Serbians, Croatians, and Slovenians together. And then after the First World War, and then was the old Yugoslavia, and then this Prince Alexander, King Alexander was shot, and then second, and we get a lot of problems too. And then during the Second World War, then this international movement of communism, socialism was very strong, and then Hitler was occupying ex-Yugoslavia and so on. And Tito with his partisan was a communist, and Croatian there was together, they created Ustasha, and we have from Serbia the Chetniks with beards and knives and whatever. And then they want to have the king back and so on. But there was always so strong fight between these nationalities. But then Tito said after Tito won, and then he killed many people because many of these Ustasha soldiers, they were just normal people. People just came in and said to me, "You are Ustasha? Okay, I'm Ustasha, no idea. They have weapons and I'm going with them. What can you do?" And others say, "You are partisan? Okay, I'm partisan," or whatever. And then they just put those people, Pavelic was the boss of Ustasha, but Pavelic went to Argentina and led his own army there. And the Ustasha, they want to quit to the English, to Great Britain, and they done it so. But Great Britain made some agreement with Tito, and they just give this army to the partisans. And they just took them from Austria, Freiburg, then through Yugoslavia, till Macedonia. There's just people just marching, and many thousands are just killed to partisan whatever. And Tito was strong, and then you didn't have any choice. If you talk against communism or Tito, then you just put in jail.
Do you think basically it was the Soviets who decided to make all these countries just like one?
No. Yeah, for Serbia
It was because of
very
Tito.
good to have stuff like this. But Tito break with Stalin in 1948.
Oh really?
Yeah, really, he said no to Stalin or whatever. There are some theories Tito was actually from Russia, whatever, blah blah. But really, and Tito made after this these countries with Nehru, Nasser, no bloc countries or whatever, and then was very famous in 60s and 70s. And, was looking good, but the problem was after Yugoslavia was open and the Soviet Union was finished, then they had to go to the normal economy, but it wasn't possible to you have Germany, Austria, so really strong countries, or Italy, France, They have really good economies, whatever, and then was problematic for Yugoslavia to exist. If they have, I don't know, if European Union or whatever give enough money for those countries, perhaps we wouldn't have war, I don't know. But they didn't want, but after this was really expensive for all sides. Many people died and whatever. And the last year or year before, politicians started again talking about war, whatever. But people are not interested anymore. Just go out and because we see if some war, then I have to go to war. But if you are some general or politicians, you are living some safety. And I have to die, you are living still. It's not a good deal. Yeah. I think that this Yugoslavia, many people still like to talk about Yugoslavia and nostalgia or whatever, I don't know. But I don't know, I don't miss these times. I just go.
Actually, can I just say, I remember we used to go with my parents every summer on vacation, and then you really had this feeling that people liked Tito so much. There were all these big signs and about Tito. And he
was famous.
Like, even though now looking back, people would say he was a dictator, but at that time it really seemed that he was very popular and people actually liked him.
Yeah, because when on TV or even we read books about him in the school or on radio, everywhere it's just Tito, Tito, Tito. Similar like now in North Korea, Kim whatever, Kim, you like them if you always see his placards and whatever. And we really read books about Tito. He was child, he was very smart and take care of his brothers, siblings, whatever. And always we didn't have any other possibilities. We always see Tito, and then again Tito, and Tito, and then with Richard Burton, Liz Taylor. Okay, he was not looking bad. He was a smart guy. And with Cuba, with this cigar and so on, and with Castro and Che Guevara. And I saw one funny movie. Tito was even in North Korea, and then they singing Tito, so whatever. Because communist. And, he was famous. He was really famous, and he knows how to stay on power for a long time. From 1945 till 1980, 35 years, and okay, he knows how to do this.
Even the economy was, I think, kind of different from other socialist countries, because I remember that there were like a lot of like good products, like you had this
they had a good time in the 70s or 60s, so period between 90s, 60s and 70s was not so bad. And but I don't know why it collapsed after Soviet Union went away, then everything went away. I don't know. But not really, because in the socialism you have your plans and whatever, 5 years plans, and corruption was problem too in Ex-Yugoslavia. You was director from one company, you ruin this company, and you just get another bigger company. All the same story. And then because you are son of general, or you are general, or whatever, you can do what you want. But I don't know, Yugoslavia, some people like it, and some people not. And because we are all looking similar, I don't know. As I was in Germany, I was studying for to be teacher, and then one boy from Afghanistan, he asked me if I know some people from Serbia. Well, no, I don't know them. They are different because he knows some family. But I don't know this family, no idea. But he asked me again, no, we are different. I said, no, you are all looking similar. Okay, you're right. You're similar. How can I explain now? He's Serbs, I'm from Croatia, but we are looking similar. How can I explain to a kid? No chance. How can you explain Korean and Japanese to another different from boy from Africa? No idea. You're looking similar, no problem. Okay.
Okay, we have another question about culture thing. Would you like to talk about the music of Yugoslavia a little bit? Music.
We have a big influence from Osmanian, or like Arabian music is very strong. And then, and then clothes and so on, similar like in Russian traditions, we have as a lot. And women always wearing some gold coins. I don't know, it's not bad. And then,
yeah, stuff like this. We like to dance, so in many people together, and so together, so in a big cycle and so. And okay, we like music, Beethoven, Mozart, whatever too. It's not bad.
What is the most difficult thing for you in living in Korea as a Christian? Like cultural shock or?
No, because yeah, I married 2008, and then I come here 3 years ago. There is no culture shock, and then we even married in Mokpo, and then we went back to Germany because I have Korean friends from 1999, and then always eat food. We got people together in Germany and meet together. So really, culture shock is not there because. Yeah, okay, it's different if you live in the country. It will be difficult because daily life is really difficult. Talking to the oldest is really difficult here because it's really, you need these special forms and whatever, and it's really difficult. We don't have this in Croatia. I don't know. Last time I met my the oldest brother from my mother, and he's 89, Korean age? No, 89, 1929 born. And I just come to him and talk to him and so just hug him. And I think in Korea it's difficult. If you hug your haraboji, I don't know. I don't know, right? So I have no idea. But it's easier to have communication. If you just like in Italy, some normal, or in Africa, and then you don't have this bond. And I think in Korea it's really okay. He is older than me, and then you have special form and always keep some distance and so on. And I think that's too difficult, and it's not so easy because I don't know. You're always under, or it's not so easy to be always up. I don't know. Always this. I think it's too stressful for people. In Gwangju, I don't know. In Seoul, it's perhaps not so. Seoul is more open. But stuff is changing. No problem.
Okay, this is about immigration problem, and what is the government rule to stop the immigration problem in your country? If there is
From
any immigration
Bosnia or whatever. They're just going out.
like refugees.
Refugees?
Immigration problem, like Bosnian people coming to the country.
But they are Bosnian people. They are leaving countries. They are just leaving Bosnia. Yeah. No, actually, the politicians in Bosnia they are not good. They always focused how to make more money or more ambitious, more power. But they don't have any good policies for young people and so on. Because many young people they just graduate university, whatever, and they are all leaving to Germany or Austria. And then I don't think this is a good idea because we have some villages only old people living there. There's no future if you just have old people. Or if you're going in summer to Bosnia, then you see cars from Austria, Swiss, Germany. You're feeling like in the middle of Europe. But then the season is then gone, and then all people going back.
So is your government taking any step to stop people from leaving your country? The government taking any step?
But not really good. Not really because they mostly like to talk about nationalities and then struggle with other politicians and so on. But they don't do really good. They don't have any plan how to stop this. I don't see that because still many young people they're just learning German because Germany is a big economy in Europe and all people want to live. And that's not. I don't have the feeling they're doing good stuff.
Okay, the last question is, have you ever thought about Kosovo's independence from Serbia?
Kosovo is now independent. Some countries are saying
What is your opinion about it?
I'm not related to Kosovo, but I don't know because for Kosovo people they want to be free from Serbia, and there's really 2 million people, and they have really many young people. So I don't know, 60% are under 25 years, really young population. But their economy is really weak too. I don't know. And how can they live? I don't know. Because if they're getting money now from the European Union and from whatever, for giving them money,
and that's okay, but they don't have any industry, they don't have any tourism, and they have really problems with drugs and whatever, and these clans, there are some powerful clans there, and I don't know how they want to be independent. I understand the idea. You have your own government and you have your own language, because in the Serbia they didn't sometimes allow them to have the Albanian language in the school or use Albanian language on TV, whatever. And then I can understand you want to be independent because you want to rule your own, you want to use your language or whatever, your culture. But actually, this is very difficult. How can they exist? Because even for Bosnia, it's difficult. Slovenia is in the European Union, no problem. Croatia is in the European Union, no problem too. Bosnia is in NATO now, and I don't know, going in the European Union perhaps in 20 years. I don't know. And for Kosovo, and they have some problems with Kosovo, Macedonia, but Kosovo is really related to Albania because many families are from Albania because they are Albanian, and difficult. Yeah.
Before you met your wife is Korean, right?
Yeah, from Panju.
Yeah. But before you met your wife, were you interested in Korea?
Yeah, because where I was living there as a student was Kisusa. Was it Kisusa in English? Dormitory. I don't know, Korean. And then many Koreans came here because one professor was 1970 there, recommending that typical Korean came in and so on. And these friends, still my friends, they are now in Seoul. Okay, funny, many Koreans coming to Europe are from Seoul, okay? And then I know already Koreans before I met my wife.
What made you are interested in Korea?
Oh, taekwondo and kimchi or food. I like the Korean culture. No, it's really it's not so crazy like Japanese, and not so. I can't read Chinese because Chinese are they are more distant. I don't know, and the Japanese are too polite. I don't know. I was in Tokyo 2 months ago because of my passport. My embassy is in Tokyo. They're always boring. And I go, what's wrong? And then, but I like Korean culture. I like food from Gwangju is very good. Kimchi is much better than from Seoul. And then, and I think people in Gwangju are like more open too. The traditions are very strong. But it's okay. It's a good country. Okay, some in Yangsan-dong, some kids always say, 외국인. Sometimes I'm going on my nerves. 외국인. But it's interesting for guys. I don't know. In Seoul, nobody is interested. In Seoul, I was in Itaewon, and oh my God, what's going on? I see people from Africa where nobody take care of. But Gwangju is okay. It's a good city. Gwangju is 1.5 million people, but these traditions are very strong, like on the countryside. I don't know, like it's really interesting to compare because if you have 1.5 million inhabitants in Europe, you are a big city. But in Korea, just said okay. It's really funny because yeah.
Thank you very much for answering all the questions
Yeah.
and clearing up everything. Now I'll welcome Dr. Shane to give our speaker certificate of appreciation.
You need to get this from me.
Oh, okay.
Before I give this to you, back to you, you have to answer just one more question about Yugoslavia or the Balkan Peninsula.
Yeah.
So, usually it's known as a fire of the world or Europe. Do you think something will happen to the explosion to the European stability from Balkan Peninsula again?
I hope not. Because we had enough problems in the 20th century and 19th century. I hope because
these questions now was many fugitives coming from Africa or now,
Yeah.
and they all went to Germany and then just through Balkan. And I hope we don't have any problems more in Europe, and everything is calming down and whatever. And if somebody wants to make problems, I don't know, other countries, not always we from Balkan, I don't know.
Why Balkan has been known, or why it was the place where conflict started?
Yeah, because there's many influences, because of many different religions,
Yeah.
many different cultures, because
ethnic groups.
Austria, Hungary, one side, another side from Osmanian, right? And you have Greece there. It's really, everything is so mixed. And if you mix everything in chemistry, then sometimes they explode. So it can be very dangerous. And then this area is not so big, but it's really central in Europe, and then people always have some interest. And they always want to have, we have still good water, good nature, everything is clean. If you drive on the autobahn, you can just turn around, no problem. And then bad politics. And the problem is, if you have a conflict, this is a little bit problem. But if you mix religion and politician conflict, then getting bad. And then because of our history, religion was also very important, so big stuff. And then if some priest said you have to kill, then you believe more if just I said. And if the priest said you have to be for freedom, then it's good. But sometimes the priest said you have to be for fighting, and then getting really bad. And because of these many nationalities and ethnic backgrounds, this is also mixed. And it's really made it dangerous. Made it very funny, made it very interesting, but dangerous too. Yeah.
But still, you have that mixture.
Yeah, still there.
Balkan.
Yeah.
So you can be easily exploded again.
I hope so that young people are learning more and then studying history, whatever. And I think there is no more interest to have fights because now you have so big weapons, so strong weapons. I don't know. War again, then why? I don't know what is idea. It's not good.
Have you ever experienced some conflict among different ethnic groups and different religions?
Oh yeah, because
when you have more grown.
okay, so ex-Yugoslavia was not so strong because my area is all countryside. Russia is small, and then in my small village was 3,000 people, Tolisac called, and we are all from Croatia and all Catholic, and then it's really no conflict. But sometimes we're struggling there because he's from neighbor house. Okay, we can struggle, but not really. And then, but in big cities, in Sarajevo was, for example, very interesting in the Winter Olympics, 1940.
Very beautiful city.
Yeah, it was a really nice city. It was really many people coming there, and Belgrade is very open too. From Serbia, and Zagreb is very open too. But sometimes this nationalist, sometimes this bad stuff is coming. I don't know why, and people just making war. Perhaps I don't know. I hope so. It's not possible in Korea because sometimes because of bad politics, people just want to make war. But you can't win. You can always lose. As a Pope Jean-Paul II said, war is no winner. We are all losing. I hope that people learn this.
Thank you very much for your
It's a pleasure, yeah.
sharing of your history, culture,
Yeah.
and vision for the future of peace.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's my first appreciation certificate. I'm coming next week again.
And now I want to declare the next week our speaker Hisham Hassani will talk about a brief history of Islam, especially the early days and rise of the Muslim empire. We cordially invite you to attend the next GIC talk as well with your all attention and concentration. And next, here is the promotion about World Human Rights Cities Forum 2007. I welcome Anna to
one of the coordinators here at GIC, and I'm organizing this discussion groups program ahead of the World Human Rights Cities Forum, which is happening in September. We're bringing together Koreans and international residents to discuss about 9 different themes that we're covering during this forum. So if you have any interest in joining this free program, which starts June 24th in 2 weeks, you can talk to me afterwards. Okay? See you next week.
And please stay on the stage. We're going to take a photo together. Please take this.
Be careful.
Cheese.
Everyone, friends, kimchi.
Thank you very much. Wish to see you again next week.
Yeah.